Do you remember any? So your mom's parents would have been C.W. Carey and
Ophelia.
Ophelia. Do you remember any? Ophelia, do you remember going to their house at all?
Oh my God, yeah.
Is it for dinners and stuff, or?
No, well, we would get there, you know, because it was like it seemed like forever to drive there from Evansville, but we got big enough. My brothers and I were on the Greyhound bus.
Did you go see them?
Oh yeah, like for the school holidays, yeah.
Really?
We'd take the bus, they'd let us off on the highway, we'd cross the highway and walk up the driveway.
Oh, that's nice. So they were right on the highway.
Mm-hmm.
What would you do there?
Huh? Just enjoy being with them. Sometimes in the summer, Jeanette and I would go for a week or two. And then you always wanted to go out with the farm machinery,
Yeah.
ride the hay baler. I mean, all these dangerous things. And of course, they told us, well, you know, don't fall off or don't do this, and we didn't. And one time we were riding, they were thrashing wheat, and the wheat would go through a tube into this huge bin. And my sister and I were hanging. We were barefoot, hanging on the inside of this huge thing. I mean, it's a story up in the air. And I remember my grandfather said, don't let go because those blades at the bottom will chew your feet up.
Oh my.
So we did not let go. So we
Hanging
would
off.
ride on
Wow.
this thing with our arms. But we just loved to be out doing things like that.
And was your granddad, was he actively farming at the time?
Oh, sure, yeah.
How long did he keep farming?
Until he was 80-some.
Oh, you're kidding. Wow.
It kept him going.
Yeah.
I mean, once that really stopped, then the diabetes and the blood pressure problems all really kicked in.
What were they like? Were they, you know, personality-wise, granddad, and what did you call Ophelia?
Mama.
Mama?
I liked Mama. Thought she was really pretty, classy lady. And she could hear everything and see everything. She claimed to have eyes in the back of her head. We believed it because she caught us at everything. We tried looking to see if you could see the eyes in the back of her head. But classy people. Granddaddy was loving, and yeah, nice, upstanding people. They had my grandmother had inherited a farm from an aunt of hers, and my grandfather wanted to own the farm next to it too, and finally convinced my grandmother to sign it over, and he ended up losing both of them. So that had to be terrible. But they stayed with their church, and they stayed and paid off all their debts, and
Really?
yeah,
Now
class
that-
act.
I remember reading about that they had that control. Was it just farm cycles or something?
Well, my grandfather had the idea, I think, to do nothing but tobacco, and you can't do that. You know, you got
Because it burns out you gotta do crop rotations?
yeah, you crop rotations, and then the market. If you have a bad market one year, then you just put all your eggs in one basket. It doesn't help. And he wouldn't listen to Uncle Parker or anybody. And then they also, I guess, the banker pulled a dirty deal.
Oh, really?
And because he wanted those two farms because they were joining for his two children, a boy and a girl. And what's really sad is they each were killed within the next year. Both separate accidents.
Wow.
So that's too bad. And but I always thought a lot of Mom and Granddaddy. That had to be horrible to go through. But they didn't go and hide. They still continued with their church.
What did he do? I mean, if he didn't have his farm anymore.
They went to a farm where they rented, and then sure. I don't know if that's sharecropping or not, but they would, and then Aunt Virginia, they got Aunt Vivian and Uncle Ashby to join them, and they worked together, and so it was like, the farmer got half. The one place that they rented was a Dr. type, a Dr. Walls. I remember his wife, and I vaguely, the first time I went to a restaurant, I think I was with them, because I knew nothing about, he left money on the table. I said, oh my goodness, you left money here. And of course, Jeanette was mortified that I was so stupid. But,
Because it was a tip.
yeah, it was a tip. So, oh, darn, I know their name just as well. Nice people. My grandmother, and they were, my grandmother's very fond of her as well as Aunt Vivian. And she corresponded with Aunt Vivian until she died, years after my grandmother died. So, but they were classy people. So, but I think it's like the owner of the farm would get half, and then my grandfather and uncle would split the other half.
Okay.
And then they also, Uncle Ashby would do what they call custom work, where he would do the combining, threshing wheat at other farms that didn't have the machine.